We take you, of course. You good? Yeah, okay. We take you, of course, till about 3 o'clock here on the program. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786 322 1105. That's 786 322 1105. If you want to get in on the program, other ways to reach out to us, of course, is on YouTube, on the YouTube chat board if you're watching us there. You can also reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. Many ways to reach out to us here on the program. As always, you know what? I have not checked the accidentlawfirm.com text line because I've been checking the YouTube chat board. I should do that before I get back to your running back question, and we get to talk running backs. Here we go. Let me see what we got on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Here's my thoughts on Tua. If we don't take the chance on Tua and we miss out on a guy that turns into another Tom Brady or Breeze, we are going to be kicked ass in the butt, and that would be so Dolphins. This is a new era. Let's make it count. Be good, my man. And I have no problem with that. I get it, man. I get it. And you got all the picks to do it, but I'm not trading up. There's no way I'm trading up for a guy that he said it yesterday in the press conference. They're not going to know how the healing is going till 3-4 months down the line. And it's nice that he's walking around now, but that doesn't mean anything because he doesn't stay healthy. So let's see, what else do we have here? Fix the trenches. That's the heart of a team. Make it strong, and all else will sort itself out. I would agree with that. I definitely would agree with that. Firing O'Shea is a low-class move. He's a guy who worked with you for 15 years, and you want him to come help you. If after 15 years you don't know what he's all about, that's a bad sign. Plus, his offense was better than Flores' defense. Punk move like he did with Kenny Stills. O'Shea had them scoring 25 points a game with that crap team. Again, low class, no loyalty. Do you know everything that went on behind the scenes? And by the way, the talent is on offense. Remember, X went out. What pass rusher was there on defense? What shutdown corner was there, sir? I mean, I get it. Look, man. You want to, have a hot take, but if you're going to pull it out of your ass, it's not going to look good, right? Because Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki accomplished more than almost anybody on defense. Well, Devontae Parker, by far. I mean, Christian Wilkins had a nice year. He got better as the year went on, the second half, and obviously a young defensive lineman. Godchow had a good year. But it's not like you really had more of your talent on offense than anything else. And your quarterback was probably better than, most of the players on defense too. You had more of a fighting chance. So maybe it was more about Fitz than it was about O'Shea. You know what I like about Flores? He's not going to hang around and wait around for something that if he doesn't like it, he changes it. I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. And considering the results this year, 5 wins out of that crap team, you know what? I'll take it. Let's see. Big O, 8 of 15 for 72 yards, a touchdown, an interception. He fumbled the ball twice, and Tannehill still wins the game. Yeah, the Titans are in the playoffs because of him for sure. Has nothing to do with the behemoth line behind him. Give me a break, Cubano in North Carolina. Hey, man, let people believe the hype. I'm going to laugh my ass off when the Titans re-sign him. He is what he is, dude. He's still the same guy. He's had a blessed season because we talked about it here in Miami. The only way you can compete with Ryan is if the situation is perfect. And that's what it's been practically in Tennessee this year. Offensive line, a running game that is just absolutely dominant. He only has to make a couple of throws. He doesn't have to carry you because he doesn't carry you. Derrick Henry carries you. The offensive line carries you, and the defense. In that game this week, he just made 2 throws. The touchdown and the third down, that's it. That's all he had to do. Now, yeah, he made the throws. The throw for the touchdown was a beautiful throw. The throw to the tight end was an excellent throw by him. I know Tannehill can make those kind of throws at times. I watched it for 7 years. He's an athlete. Athletes will wow you, just like Josh Allen. But when push comes to shove and you need a real quarterback, it ain't going to be Ryan Tannehill. All right? So, that's all. But, hey, people will fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Let's see. Thank you, for all your hard work. I truly appreciate you and Bill so much. I used to listen to regular radio, and honestly, it's all washed up. Washed up takes and kind of played out. I love how you keep the listeners involved and makes you feel part of the show. That's something you don't get on radio stations anymore. Well, they don't care about you guys. That's why. And I mean, they don't want to take phone calls. The only reason I don't have phone calls on this show yet is because we haven't figured it out technically. But once I get that technical issue figured out, we'll have phone calls here on this show too. I read your texts, and I read your tweets, and I read your emails if you want to send them, whatever. That's what it is. I'm not here without you guys. Okay? We don't get the crazy-ass amount of downloads that we would be getting without you guys. I mean, it is awesome, the downloads that we're getting. It's what you see on YouTube is nothing. Okay, we're just building it on YouTube, and it's a small audience on YouTube, and I love you guys for being there, but the download audience is, wow, blow me away. It's crazy. Right, we're going to go over 500,000 downloads already, and we're not even going to be 5 months in. That's amazing. So I appreciate it. I love you guys out there so much, and I'm trying to give you guys the kind of talk that you guys want. You want sports talk. You want to be able to interact. You want to be able to, send in your question, your comment, your insult, whatever. Go ahead, and we'll read it, and we'll go with it. It's kind of this is why Bill and I, came up with this whole draft show, out in Vegas, so we can do it with a bunch of hundreds of Dolphins. Well, we could have what? We could have 1,000 Dolphins in 3 days, right? Because the place holds 300. I don't know if the same 300 are going to show up every day. But I'm hoping that, I'm sure we're going to get a great crowd out there.
It all depends on how many Finn fans decide to travel.
Yeah, no, they're going to travel. They're going to travel. It's Vegas. So there's a lot of Finn fans that are like...
That's a great, big, huge invitation, basically.
Right, exactly. It's like, dude, we're going for the draft, and it's in Vegas, It's like... I was talking again yesterday with my wife. It's like that we're like maybe, I don't know, maybe one of the only couples in America that the wife goes, yeah, honey, go ahead, go to Vegas for a week. No problem. You want to come, honey? Nah, I'm bored. I don't like Vegas. I'll stay here with my daughter, and we'll just hang out. Okay? How many wives are going to do that? At least they would go and go spend money, go shopping while you're, doing your draft crap and whatever I'm doing, She'll go and gamble, and, that's what a normal woman would do. Nah, just stay home with the dogs and Caitlin, and that's it. We're good. How many wives are going to do that? Anyway, let's see. That's something you don't get on radio stations anymore. If anything, they bash the listener and categorize us all the same type of listeners, and that's not true. And they never put the work in when it comes to uploading podcasts like the way Bill does. I truly, truly appreciate your show. Thanks a million. Oh, I mean, they don't work like we do. Okay? It's, I not to trash, people in our business, but I don't know a lot of people in this business that have my work ethic. That's all I can say. That's all. At least being 30 years in this business, I've watched a lot of people. Very few work like I do. Very few. I'm talking about electronic, by the way. Writers, there's plenty of them. They work their asses off. Thank you. More than welcome. Keep up the greatness. Y'all the best. Well, I don't know about greatness. Bill and I are just trying to survive every day. And we hope that you're enjoying what we're doing. And again, if you want to send anything in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can do it at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to send it in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. There you go. That is some of the text that we got in today on the show. Let me see what else we got here on the YouTube chat board. Let's see. My 3 top running backs are J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Taylor, and Etienne. I love Etienne. I think Etienne is definitely one of those guys that, for the Dolphins, I would like him like in the second round. I think he's one of those guys that would definitely help out in the second round. Zach Moss guy is right up there from Utah. You got to like him. LaMichael Pirine also. That's another one of those backs that people are going to be talking about. RZ's asking me about the $120 million in cap space. Those of you that listen every day, you know what I've said about the cap space, okay? Unlike others that thought that they were going to go ape crap crazy over the money, I've been telling you they're not. They will sign decent free agents to 1 or 2 year deals, probably. That's my prediction. If they sign any kind of quality free agent to a long-term contract, it'll be a young free agent. A guy that's 26, 25, 27, something like that. And that he's got time for one more. But a 30, 31-year-old and they're giving him a 4-year deal, that's not going to happen. Those giant signing bonus and all that, not going to happen. Okay? I gave the example yesterday. Like I had some Dolphins last year. Oh, why don't we sign Trent Williams from the Redskins? No, they're not doing that. I tried to explain that. Media members were also pointing out, hey, Trent Williams, they need offensive. No, they're not going to do that. They're going through youth.
Oh, did you mention the Dobson kid from Ohio State?
Yes.
He declared. Does he look injury prone to you, man? His size?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't look at him as a high pick. Anyway, I don't look at him as one of the top guys in that position. But he is explosive.
Speaking of injuries, this situation with us not knowing about Tua for, I guess, 3 or 4 months.
Yep.
How does this work with the teams getting information
and
knowing exactly what's the deal? And
well, they're going to have.
Can you enlighten us here?
They have to share it. I mean,
okay, so the full disclosure.
Well, if you want him to draft you,
right,
and he's going.
So like the NFL teams will know up to the minute, like where he's at, what's up.
Well, when we're at the combine, that week he's going to go to several doctors.
Okay.
That week he will get poked and prodded like cattle, because what they do, Bill, in the combine is. See, this is the problem.
This is that underwear test or whatever they call it.
This is the problem with the combine. The combine's not about that. We've made it about the stupid 40 and all that. That's why you'll see while I'm there, I won't pay attention to that. I'll barely watch it on TV. I won't care about who bench presses or runs or none of that means anything to me.
The shuttle thing doesn't matter.
None of that means anything to me. The only time it means something to me is if it's an injured player that rehabbed and now is back on the field since football and see how he's moving. See if there's any limitations and all that. So at least you have movement. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care what he does in the gauntlet or whatever, dude. It's more important what he did in football. What I saw he did in the Senior Bowl, what he did in that bowl game, what he did throughout his entire career, what the scouts tell me that they think about him, what really the combine is all about, Bill, is the medicals and the interviews. Because they already have all your football stats, dude. They already know what kind of football player you are. They've got 2, 3, 4 years of film on your ass.
Yeah, 2 feet of film stacked up.
Right. They saw you at the NFLPA game, at the East-West, at the Senior Bowl for a whole week. They've got your tape on how you practice, how you dealt with the NFL people when they were coaching you, how you took in that coaching. how you adjusted in an environment that you've never played with everybody else for that week. All of those things, that's where they measured you. And then when we get to the combine, you're going to see that when I'm sitting down and I'm talking to people, so what did he say in the interview? How did he go in the interview? Did he answer your questions? Was he a smart guy? Was he a dumb guy? Would he, that's what I want to find out. That's what I'm going to find out. You'll see guys will tell me, no, man, he didn't test well. I mean, we asked him this, that, and he just didn't do this and that. That's what I get at the combine. I get dirt. I got to go find out if this guy's a hell of a player, if this guy's a leader, this guy's a man, this guy's smart, this guy, like the year that Goff and Wentz were coming out, I had a coach tell me that we put both guys through this test. And what it was is that the offensive coordinator came in, the offensive line coach came in, the QB coach came in, and then each guy, right, put them in a scenario and then told them to decipher the entire scenario. What protections you would use, what defense what defense are you facing, what formation would you rather have, what are you going to see, all of that. And then they'd pull him out of the room and they'd show him and then they'd take him out and he'd have to remember everything, right? Wentz remembered everything that they had to do. He remembered the coverages that they told him that he had to have, the protections that he had to have, what he was going to see. Jared Goff couldn't remember half of it.
And that's about being able to process information with the quickness,
right,
which helps you read defenses and make wise decisions.
Right, because Wentz has a photographic type memory. He's one of those guys that remembers everything and anything. Like he can walk in a room and he'll look at it and then he'll walk back out and walk back in and you'll take something out. He'll tell you exactly what's missing because he's that guy. And that's what they found out. That coaching staff and that team, that's what they found out. And so those are the things that I find out. That's a story you're not going to get anywhere, pretty much, unless there's another reporter out there that has kind of access like I do that then will tell you that, okay, so Wentz was already considered like heads and shoulders above Goff mentally already at that point. So those are the things that I like to find out at the combine. That when, okay, we met with this guy, we did this, we did that, and then those are things that I learned. And that's what the combine is all about. Oh, we found out that his knee is not good. He's got a bad knee. Daquan Bowers was a guy that was coming out of Clemson. I think some of you may remember Daquan Bowers. And when he was coming out of Clemson, he was a good player, but he had a bad knee, kind of like Jay Ajayi. And what was the talk about Jay Ajayi? I tell you Jay Ajayi because you're going to, most of you that are Dolphins are going to remember it, right? That everybody talked about when Jay Ajayi came out of Boise State. What was it? He had a bad knee, that it was really going to be one contract. And guess what? It's been one contract. Nobody gave him that big contract. The Dolphins were never going to give him that big contract. And I would keep hearing Dolphins that would call my show and all that and say, hey, man, he's kicking ass. You got to sign him. No, they're not. I'm telling you, that's why they drafted him late, because they would use him up as much as they could and then get rid of him. And because he was also kind of a difficult dude, and he knew what his knee was, and he knew he wasn't going to – that's why he was desperate for the money, because he didn't have a long shelf life. And Daquan Bowers was another one of those guys that, we found out in the combine, no, he's got a chronic knee. This guy's not going to have a long-term career, so he's probably not a guy that's going to see a second contract and a big contract. So be careful if you draft him, because you may not see that second contract, just like Jay Ajayi. But Ajayi, you take him in the 5th round. If you don't see a second contract, who cares? If I milked you for a couple seasons for a 5th rounder, I did my job. I'm good. Not every 5th rounder is going to turn out like Zach. Okay? So if you end up a 5th rounder and you can milk him for a couple of years, you do it. So that's really what the combine is all about. It's about the interviews, finding out the mental state of the player, the physical state of the player with the physicals, all that kind of stuff. the shuttle and the 40 and the high jump and all that other crap. I don't care about that, dude. That doesn't do anything for me. Okay? You guys drafted a guy.
Is that more for TV, for the NFL Network?
You guys drafted a guy that had like 4,000 lifts in the bench. You remember that? What was the name of that defensive lineman? Now I'm forgetting him. He lasted a couple of years and he was out of football.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
McClellan or something like that. I think he ended up with the Patriots, and the Patriots actually got the most out of him.
Right. Well, typical.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if it was McClellan. Shane McClellan is the guy you're thinking of? I don't think that's the guy. It's somebody that, I don't know why I want to say Baylor. I think he was from Baylor. But it was a D lineman, might have been a D tackle, and he had like 4 billion bench press. I think he holds the record. I'm pretty sure he holds the record, and you guys drafted him. And, he only lasted a couple seasons. Mike Mamula was this workout fiend, and he rose the charts because he didn't do anything in the Eagles. He had that one first season, he did a couple things, but then after he just phased out. Campbell, Maryland offensive lineman. He runs like a 4.9 or something. And Al Davis, it's like, who gives a rat's ass if your tackle ran a 4.9 or a 5.1? So he's fast. When's that going to be used in a game? But then there goes Al Davis. Off the workout, he drafts him early, and it ends up becoming a bust. Somebody look up that lineman for me. You guys play producer out there for the Bears that lifted a whole bunch of crap. Who the hell was it? Let's see. Don't you love how the Miami Dolphins pick with the 5th overall pick in the 2020 draft sounds like selected Tua? That would be fun. That would be fun because it'd bring a lot of excitement. No doubt. Big O, I'm with you every day. Thank you for getting me through each day. Thank you, Dougie. Appreciate that. Rick the Boy, Big O, who are your sleepers in the draft this year? You got to give me a little time for that. Okay? I haven't talked to people yet. You got to give me some time, and I'll give you sleepers. In the next month, I'll give you sleepers. But right now, I'm not the one that I would say that's a kind of a sleeper would be Nate Stanley late in the, a 3rd round draft pick at quarterback. I kind of like that kid as a project. That wouldn't be a bad guy early on if you want me to give you something. Let's see. Tua has to take a physical at the combine. Yes, he does. That's where we'll find out. David says, Big O, do you plan on broadcasting from any cigar lounges this year? Well, David, when we don't have a cigar lounge sponsor. Now, if a cigar lounge sponsor wants to step up, I have not, although I got something in the works that's not really a cigar lounge, but it's something else, and it's going to be pretty cool. But if there's a cigar lounge out there that wants to become the official cigar lounge of our program, give us a ring on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. Twitter, Big O Show. Many ways to reach out to us. Let's see. Miami Kid says, who's the biggest bust in your opinion, Charles Harris or Deion Jordan? I'll go with Deion Jordan because he's higher. He went number 3 overall, and they traded up for him. So, and Charles Harris, just like he sucks. But Deion Jordan has shown you that he has talent, and he ruined it all because he's a dope head or whatever it is. So I'll go with Deion because Charles Harris was like a bad pick. Okay? Deion actually has something there. It just I get more pissed at the person that pisses away the talent than the person that was overdrafted or whatever and really didn't have the talent and wasn't good enough. And that's Charles Harris. Charles Harris doesn't have the heart, the character to really be a good player in the NFL. Deion actually has it because he's shown more after he left the Dolphins than he ever was with the Dolphins. Hell, he's still in the league and making plays. Some plays every once in a while that we're like, wow, that's Deion Jordan. So I'll go with Deion Jordan as my bigger bust out of the two. Hell, I'll put Sammy Smith in front of Charles Harris. How about that? Talent again. And pissed it away. But he can be a drug kingpin. All right, let's wrap it up here. Let's take a quick break here. We'll come back on the other side. The folks at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines, they got some great deals going on right now, man. 2020 models. They are proud sponsors. Tell them that Big O sent you. The ILX, $209. The TLX, $239. The RDX, $339. The MDX, $349. Only $29.99 do it signing, plus tax tag and registration, folks. Tell them that Big O sent you. Trust me, they're going to take care of you. Larry Schlossberg and all the great people out there, man. Tony Stampone, Pat Nasto, great people. If you own or lease an Acura, go see Mike Chan and Jordan Ferber. They are the best at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. We take you, of course, till about 3 o'clock, I think, right around there. We should be wrapping it up. Manny Navarro will be joining us at the top of the hour at 1 o'clock. He joins us every Tuesday for our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. He is always here for us on Tuesdays. So we'll talk about the new coach, Lashley, taking over, which, you know, it all looks good. But then again, we were all jacked about, you know, what's it called? Now I'm forgetting the head coach's, the coordinator's name that they just fired from Alabama. I get O'Shea that they fired from the Dolphins, and then now I'm forgetting completely the guy, and what's it called? I get those two confused. But Dan Enos, we were excited about Enos because of what he did in Alabama, and to me, that's why this whole Lashley thing, it doesn't mean it. Brother, if Manny doesn't get his crap together, none of this means anything. It doesn't. Brian Dable was here, and he's gone on to grow up and do better things, and look, he's up for a head coaching job and everything. It's what you do overall as a coach, and you see there in that case. And so to me, this situation is more about the head coach than whoever you add as an offensive coordinator. Because if Manny doesn't have his crap together, don't matter what Lashley brings to the table. He will fail like everybody else. That's all. And I see that no move has been made, and I'm a huge Highsmith fan, but I am not for that move. I love Alonzo Highsmith. And maybe Alonzo wants to take this job because he's given up on the NFL. I'm not sure. And I don't blame him because you're black, you end up getting the short end of the stick in the damn NFL. You coach, you get no respect like Jim Caldwell. You have 3 winning seasons out of 4, and you get fired for a guy that can't win half your games. That's what happens in the NFL. And so I'm not surprised if Zoe is frustrated with the lack of opportunities that he keeps getting passed over, and he doesn't get that shot that he deserves to be a GM. So if that's why he's taking the job, well, then that's fine, but I don't think that that's going to elevate the Canes in any way, shape, or form. You're just going to cause more problems, because if you're a head coach, you need to oversee your head coach, then you've got the wrong head coach, like I said last week. That's the case. That's the way I would look at it. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, that's the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. That's a 24-hour talk show there on Twitter. And what else do we have? Oh, yes, and I forgot to mention, please subscribe to our podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all that good stuff for those of you that are watching. And if you're also passing it on, share the link to our YouTube channel with others out there so we can get them to follow us on YouTube. We got to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can get you better live coverage, especially with a lot of the off-season stuff that we got coming up now. You want better draft coverage? Get us to 1,000, okay? That'll give us a little bit more flexibility to do some other things out there in the NFL. I do have my picks. I'll give them later. You know, we went 3-2 yesterday against the spread, so we got back on the winning track last night. Now we're 30-26 against the number. So we had a good night last night. Not a great night, but we had a good night. So we will follow it up. We'll give you our picks in a little while. Some of the news and notes: the Panthers are finalizing their deal with Baylor head coach Matt Rule to be their next head coach. The Cowboys have given Mike McCarthy a 5-year deal, and they also have hired Mike Nolan as the defensive coordinator. The Giants are naming Pat's special teams coordinator and wide receivers coach Joe Judge their head coach. That's some of the news and notes that have come across the wire. I don't think I've seen anything else new here. I'm trying to look up here and see if there's anything new for you, but nope, that's been the latest things that have been going on in the world of deportes. What else do we have going on? How about last night? Dude, did you see Embiid's finger? Wow, that was nasty.
They kept showing it. You could not see it if you were watching any sports show.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like Brian Baldinger's finger. Like, have you ever watched Baldy on the NFL Network, and he's out, like, breaking down the board, and he's pointing, and then that finger is going in the other direction, and you're like, wow, that's just nasty. If you've ever met Kim Bocamper in your life, and you shake hands with him, okay, his fingers are gnarly as hell. You ever see those signs that say dangerous curves? And it's got like that's his fingers. All of them. They're all like that. It's funky, dude. But Embiid apparently just, it was gnarly. And he mangled that finger yesterday. Still had 18 points on 7 of 17 shooting, had 9 rebounds, and also had 8 assists. So he hung in there, and they beat OKC 120-113. That was one of those games that I didn't trust. I kind of stayed away from yesterday. There were a couple things that were pretty amazing in the NBA yesterday. Joel Embiid's finger was amazing. Luka Doncic had 21 points in the third quarter against the Bulls. He had a triple-double again, shot 5 of 10 from three-point range, ended up with 38 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists in the game. This is a guy that just got injured and just got back from injury a couple games ago. This kid's amazing. I mean, the way he twisted up his ankle, you remember that? I mean, that ankle twisted up nasty. He's my guy. I thought he was going to be out forever. And he only missed a couple of games. It's nice to be young, too.
We all should have seen it. It was against our Heat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was, wow, dude. That was crazy last night. And then Jokic goes off against me, by the way, because I'm playing against him in fantasy. 47 points last night, 4 of 8 from three-point range, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. And by the way, 0 turnovers. I always look at that line. Like, Luka had 3 turnovers yesterday, which is actually amazing considering you're the point guard and everything runs through you. But Jokic is kind of a center that everything kind of runs through him too a lot of times in Denver. So for him to touch the ball that much also, score 47 points, score that well from three-point range, and have no turnovers in the game. I mean, for Luka, it was impressive to have 3 turnovers. For Jokic to have 0 turnovers as a center, a passing center, a shooting center, man, that's impressive as hell. Now, what isn't impressive is that the Hawks have lost 11 of 13. By the way, that was one that I won yesterday. I took Denver, giving the points to Atlanta. They won 123 to 115. The line was 7.5.
What do I always say, man? They're within a minuscule. They're right there.
How do they do it, bro?
That's why I
How
don't
do
mess
they
with
do
them.
it?
I don't. I do
How
not
do they
mess
do it,
with them.
bro? How do they do it? What algorithm do they have?
I'd like to see him try to pick some lottery numbers. Okay.
I want to. No, I just want to borrow that algorithm for a year. That's all. Just give me a year. Just 1 year, bro. That's all I'm asking. Just lend me the algorithm for 1 freaking year. Because it's got to be something like that, right? It's got to be some program that they've got that figures all this out, because they come within the number and they're so close. And you're constantly winning or losing barely. They are so awesome, man. It is incredibly impressive. The Heat, by the way, are off tonight, okay? So no Heat game tonight, which sucks. I always want to see the Heat. Although the Panthers are in action tonight. They take on the Jets, and they're about the same team. They're both you know that the Jets and the Panthers both own the 8 spots in each conference. How about that? Tonight, you got both teams, although the Panthers are tied with the Flyers for the 8th spot. So they're sharing that 8th spot. And they're not tied for 7. They're tied for, 8 and 9 with the 49 points. But it's funny that the Jets own the 8th spot in the Western Conference, and the Panthers own the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference. So they're facing a team. And these teams are 23-16-4 and 22-15-5, respectively. And they're the 8th spot. They're not having bad seasons. They're having pretty solid seasons, but it's only good enough to get you the 8th spot. Got to pick it up, man. Let's go, Panthers.
Is that an indictment on our team or how good our conference is?
Both.
A little
It's
both.
a good conference, but this team should be better. They're underachieving, man. I'm sorry. I'm not giving – there are no more moral like the other night, like, oh, Panthers rally. Oh, screw you, dude. I don't care about the rally. Kiss my ass with rally. We're not an expansion team. This isn't these young guys in their first year together and all that, and they're growing and learning how to win and all that garbage that we – no. Barkov is a seasoned pro. Trocheck is a seasoned pro. Huberdeau is a seasoned pro. There are no more excuses. And there are no more breaks. And there are no more moral victories. And none of that garbage flies anymore for the Panthers. Now it's pressure and expectations, and get your ass in gear and become the team that you're supposed to become. I'm not expecting a Stanley Cup because they're not Stanley Cup worthy, but I am expecting them to be better than what they are right now. Get into the middle of the pack of the playoffs. And you better at least get to the second round of the playoffs. At least second round. Making the playoffs is not good enough for the Panthers. A decent showing in the first round is not good enough for the Panthers. They've spent too much money. They've brought too many good people over here. And the owners have just spent a ton of cash. It's time. They don't get any breaks from me, all that stuff. The rally the other night to lose by a goal means nothing to me. You lost, period. Whether you lose 10-1 or 3-2 or 4-3 or 7-5, I don't care. You lost. And there are no excuses. Find a way to win the damn game. So win tonight against the damn Jets. Start putting more wins together. Stop playing uneven hockey. Stop giving me a couple good games and then a couple of bad games. Stop giving me a winning streak and then a losing streak. How about give me some great goaltending on a consistent basis? How about punching somebody in the mouth on a consistent basis? Those are the things I want to see from the damn Panthers. So pick it up. Let's go. I'll be watching tonight, but I'll be watching with a very critical eye because that's what it is now. There are no more the honeymoon period is over, bro. Over. And I'm glad that Dale Talon said what he said the other day. I played it on on a weekend podcast. Don't know if you guys caught it, but you know what? I'll repeat it. I'll put it up here. If you guys didn't hear Dale Talon after the game the other day, this is what I've been talking about now for several months.
6 weeks until, I guess, your favorite time of year, the NHL trading deadline. You've gone all in. Ownership has gone all in. You're a cap team. How feasible is it that you'll want to and can maybe get something done before the trade deadline?
Well, we're always looking to get better, and if some of these guys don't get more consistent in their play, well, they won't be here. As simple as that. But we're always looking to get better every day, and it's just a matter of what type of player and what the situation is and where we're at as far as the playoff situation. So that a lot of things can go on here in the next 6 to 8 weeks, and we got to keep our eye on it and make sure that our staff's coming in, our pro scouts are coming in next week, our amateur guys are coming in the following week. So we're a lot of preparation getting ready for those particular situations, the trade deadline, the draft, and everything we do on a regular basis is try and improve.
One of the things that I love about hockey people is they don't lie to themselves. Football people will lie to themselves. NBA people will lie to themselves. Major League Baseball people will lie to themselves. I don't know enough about the MLS. Haven't dealt enough with MLS people, so I can't really speak from experience. But hockey people are probably the most brutally honest people with themselves. And I've been dying for somebody in the organization to say what I've been saying for months now. I even said this in the offseason. I said, hey, you made the move for the goaltender. You made the move for the coach. It's time now, man. You got to find out whether these guys can get it done or they can't. And if they can't, I'm glad Dale Talon said it. If these guys don't pick it up, some of them won't be around. It's time to break them up. We're at the fork in the road now with the Panthers. Okay? That's all it is right now with the Panthers. It's a fork in the road. It's the saying, crap or get off the pot. You know what I'm talking about? That's the Panthers. Either you do it or get the hell out. That's it. And you got to shake it up and trade away a bunch of guys and bring in other guys. Mix it up. Why? Because clearly the group that you have, and we've talked about this before, it was an advantage to pay them early because you get a break. It's a disadvantage because they had accomplished nothing and you paid them. And all those guys have gotten paid for accomplishing squat. And that sucks. And that's the part that kind of burns you. But I get why they did it because it's smart. It's smart. When you're a cap type of, sport, these are the things that you've got to be. But even having said all of that, look what Goldie said in that question. You're a cap team. So you're right up against the cap. Even with the discounts that you've got with all those guys by signing them early. But those guys aren't coming through. So that's a problem. It's like, what's it called? Q said it the other day. When, there are days we get scoring and then we don't get goaltending. And then the days we get goaltending, we don't get any scoring. And we can't play like that. So, again, crap or get off the pot and start trading away some of these guys and break this team up. That's all. There is not you do not keep this team together another season. Understand that. If the Panthers bring back this team next year, then they are setting themselves up for failure. By the way, that's all, assuming that this year is same as it's been the last couple of years, that you do nothing. Even if you make the playoffs and get eliminated in the first round, you bring this same team back, you made a mistake. You made an enormous mistake. Because getting into the first round is not impressive. 16 out of 30 teams make the playoffs. I'm not impressed. Okay? Now, if you make the playoffs and you're making an impact in the playoffs, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Big O, there's a rumor going around that the number 13 will come out of retirement if the Dolphins draft Tua. Also, that Dan Marino has already co-signed to this. I think that would be cool. I know Marino would co-sign to that because Marino's a cool dude. Okay? I don't think Marino's ego would be, you can't wear my 13, or he doesn't care about that, dude. Marino knows he's Marino. You know what I mean? He knows what we think of him, and it has nothing to do with the number. We know he is the effing man, period. He's still the man in my book. He will always be the man in my book, okay? So he's comfortable in his skin in that sense. You know what I mean? Marino's the guy who can line up in a hurricane and think that he can throw it 40 yards through a hurricane. That's what you want. That's what I want in my quarterback. I want a badass that is convinced that he can get it done. So I could see that happening. Now, selfishly, can I say something about this? I don't want it to happen. I want Tua to go on his own. If he becomes a Miami Dolphin, I don't want him to have 13. I want him to start his own number. Whatever number you want, whatever other number he likes, put it on. Make your own trails. You know what I mean? Because Greasy has his legend. Marino has his. The numbers aren't what identifies them, but it's something that's a part of their career. So let's have Tua get another number. Hey, how about number 5? Since if that's where Miami ends up drafting him at number 5 overall, then go for it. Wear number 5. And then go out there and create your own legend, create your own history. And in that way, you have 3 quarterbacks that become great quarterbacks in your organization and 3 different numbers. Personally, that's what I would like. I don't want anybody using Marino's number. But I could definitely see Marino saying, yeah, man, let the kid use the number. Go ahead. It's a great. Marino, he bleeds Dolphins, man. He wants the Dolphins to win a Super Bowl. You know? So I could see him doing that. But personally, I don't want that. I want Tua to make his own legend, man. If he becomes a Miami Dolphin and if he can stay healthy and all of that, yeah, man. I want to see a Dolphin wearing a Greasy jersey with his number. I want somebody wearing Marino's jersey with his number, and I want somebody wearing Tua's jersey with his number. It'll be cool, man. It'll be kind of confusing if Tua, gets drafted by the Dolphins. You give him 13, he goes on to have a great career, and then you're putting it up in the Ring of Honor, and it says Tua and also 13 next to Marino 13. That's kind of weird.
It's already confusing enough having our Super Bowl 7 MVP Jake Scott 13.
Right, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I kind of want it to be on its own. You know what I'm saying? That would be cool. But that's just me. I think a lot of Dolphin fans would feel that way. I think younger fans, look, if you didn't live the Marino era, I don't expect you to have the love that I have for Marino. I don't. That's just the way it is, man. He was my guy. He was drafted in my time, and I got to watch him in his entire career. Hell, I went to Canton when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I will go for Wade. I was pissed that I missed Zoe, but I can't miss. Marino's my favorite Dolphin player of all time, and Wade's my favorite, Heat player of all time. I will definitely be in Springfield, I'm sorry. And I've never been to the NBA Basketball Hall of Fame, so that'll be cool for me that I'll get to see it for the first time. I'm looking forward to that. All right, 786-322 1105 if you want to get in on the program. That's 786-322 1105 if you want to get in on the show. The other way to reach out to us is on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. And remember, our show is proudly brought to you by Moodius Dental. We are going to Moodius Dental this afternoon. And folks, go get a free consultation for implant or Invisalign. They are your implant and Invisalign experts, and you can start the year right with a healthy smile. Call them 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. They use the latest dental technology. They will blow you away with the technology there. I've already given you the example. For those of you that, if you need, let's say, an implant, you need a root canal, or you need a crown and you got to have a tooth made. You know how they give you a temporary, and then you got to walk around for a week or two waiting for the real one to come back, or 3 weeks. Hell, I had a temporary once for like 2 months because I couldn't. The schedule didn't jive. They make the tooth right there. You never walk out with one. You walk out with the tooth. There's no temporary. Oh, and there are days where they open like till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Do you know why? Because a lot of dentist offices close at 5. So that means you have to take time off from your job to go to the dentist. Eric says, you know what? We're going to have some late days so people can adjust, and after work they can still do their jobs and then still come to the dentist. Wow, what a concept that is, huh? That's amazing. Moodius Dental, 305-821-0231, and tell them that Big O sent you.